الكتاب والحكمة ويعلمكم ما لم تكونوا تعلمون سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
If you have reviewed the university proposal, this is our motto. This is the basis of the university. You see, and this is also the motto of this course. Of course, this course is foundation of the university. Allah tells you the job description of a prophet. Who are prophets today? In absence of prophet, alims, right? So this is, university produces alims. So what do? They purify, first thing. In Baqarah 129, Prophet Ibrahim prayed for something else. That sequence was changed. I'll tell you what he prayed. He wanted purification the last. And he did not have the last one. He also wanted kitab and hikmah, but he did not have anything about new knowledge. Allah added those. Allah changed the sequence. Prophet Ibrahim asked for purification last. Allah put the second. So this is sequence. Their job is to recite, rehearse the signs of Allah. There are two types of signs. Korean, the one you can read in Quran, those are ayah. Also, whatever is visible, that's called zahir. The visible ayah and readable ayah, deducible ayah. That's the job. First job is give reference to ayah of Allah. In science, real science, that's the evidence. They start with the evidence. It's not disputable. Evidence does not have to prove it. That's the evidence. First evidence, signs of Allah. Quran and Hadith and whatever visible. Right? Facts. This is not filtering. This is not narrative of shaitan. These are facts. If it is not based on facts, it's not prophetic. Second, purify. Purify is the job of the teacher. It's very profound. Can you purify a bad guy? Prophet Nuh tried for 950 years, did not work. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in 10 years, the man who created the biggest revolution of humanity, in 10 years he had like 100 people. Nobody knows better than him, yet 100. That purification can be done only if you're willing, if you're willing to participate. Then teach them book and hikmah. Hikmah, literally, is the ability to use the knowledge model. Hikmah does not come from anywhere else. It comes Quran and Hadith. That's hikmah. Literally, it means the ability to order, to decide, hukum. You have no ability to do hukum unless you started with Quran and in the context of Hadith. It doesn't exist. The source of true knowledge is not anything other than those. It's very scientific. Last, new knowledge. Things that they do not know. This is a very big problem. in our society. In 2003, I had to attend a lecture. There was funding, $2.7 million, but people were still resisting. Money was allocated, but the university would not allow me to touch the money. They are very scared of what new knowledge is. People resist new knowledge, you know. So at that time, that's how I remembered, I cited a psychological paper that shows people do not want to know about new knowledge. It makes them very uncomfortable. It challenges what Shaitan has done to them forever. You see, Shaitan's first one is dalala. Shaitan made you look like in this way, but somebody is giving you new knowledge, you say, nothing is the same. Nothing is the same. So they resist. They do everything possible to push away. I had to lecture in that one. There are two vice presidents, the chief of finance, two deans. I had to lecture them that you have the money, you know why you're resisting? Because there's new knowledge. If I had to do that, their money, their government gave them money. Still I had to lecture them. Imagine what is happening here. You have this natural urge to resist. This is new. This is impossible. We cannot do it. It's going to shake us up. So, very clearly, the evidence is Quran and Sunnah. I mentioned that in the first lecture. Yesterday I sent you the orientation lecture. Have you looked at it? If you did not, I urge you to look at it. It was very clear. Evidence is not what Newton said. Evidence is not what Turkey is doing. Evidence is not what US is doing. Evidence is Quran and Hadith. Even what Shahwa did is not an evidence. I have quoted a hadith about that. Those are interesting examples, but not evidence. This is the model used throughout history. Again, this is inductive logic we're talking about. First human, Prophet Adam. When he came, knowledge blossomed. That's the job of the prophets, the teachers. Knowledge goes extreme. But Shaitan plays a trick. It goes down. Goes up, goes down. Goes up, goes down. How long does it take? We'll see soon. But with Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it went up extremely high. Real knowledge. Then it started to fall. Why is it going up? Mujaddid. Remember? Every century has a Mujaddid. It's their job again. Because we are not going to get any profit. Then will come Prophet Isa's time. After that, again it will start the same cycle. This is inductive logic. This is history. So, what is the catch here? The change is abrupt. It's like life. How long does it take to have the life conception in a womb? How long does it take for a seed to blossom? In an instant. That's the job of the prophet. Prophet's job is create that revelation, and it's instant. A little bit about history. Shaitan misled Adam, and we don't know how long after. There's no time frame. Shaitan misled Kabil. We don't know how long after, how long it took. But we know it was in Prophet Adam's time. We don't know how long Shaitan took to mislead people of Idris, Lut, Nuh, Yaqub, Ibrahim. But they were all misled. Yes. But we do not know what time frame. We do not know people of Arabia. They are people of Prophet Ibrahim, right? How long do they take? Do we know? No, we don't. But they came from mu'min to mushrik. We know people of Isa were misled to current status of shirk. There is no Ahlul Kitab left among Christian Jews. They completely became mushrik. But we know that took what? 200 years, 2,000 years. Those are things we know. We know also Prophet Caliphate took only 20 years to become the most robust empire in history of mankind. 20 years.
Khilafah.
Yes. In 20 years, that was the most. In 20 years, both Persian and Roman empires were defeated. I'm talking about establishing from Medina to Umar's time.
Yeah.
It is done. We know Shaitan took 400 years. This is now modern. Now we know because it's in modern history. 400 years to go from honey, sugar, saccharine to aspartame. It has declined. 400 years. We know French Revolution, Industrial Revolution, Bolshevik Revolution, that's the Soviet Union one. All took very short time. So what is the conclusion? Shaitan is not more efficient than prophets. That's Allah's sunnah. That's how Allah created us. He is not more efficient. Efficiency meaning his time frame. Allah has given incredible ability. Prophets could not reach everybody. Shaitan can reach everybody on earth simultaneously. Isn't it true? He can reach the Hafiz of Quran in Philippines and the Hafiz of Quran in US at the same time. Yet Shaitan took that long time. Prophets had very limited ability, but they're very efficient. Shaitan took hundreds of years. We don't even know how long it took. Prophet took 20 years. So, what to conclude? Next, revolution, even bad ones, are very quick, instant. Even Bolshevik revolution, even French revolution, they're very quick. Gaddafi ruled for 40 years. It took few months to get him out. Hasina ruled for 16 years. It took few days to get her out. Even bad revolutions are very quick. That's the nature of Allah's creation.
The same happened with Assad, but with revelation in context of science.
No, it's not. It's the same. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, science is not different from anything else. See, the word ilm does not distinguish between engineering science and political science. This is a new creation.
So if you consider an example, for example, in 11 days, Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan.
We're coming to that.
Yeah.
Please hold on. We're coming to that. Qadr cannot be changed. The third one is very important conclusion. Qadr cannot be changed, nor we are accountable for it. So we should not be saying, oh God, it takes a long time, so I'm not going to do it. It's not your job. It's not even your job to find out how long it takes. Because it's fixed. Our job is not our outcome. Our job is to intend and act upon it. Last year, I wanted to give Sadaqatul Fitr in dates or grain, right? Because that's the sunnah. my associate at the time, he said, "Oh no, nobody likes dates here, and or grains or rice." I said, "That's the sunnah." I said, "They like money." I said, "I don't care. I'm giving you 1,500 Afghani. Buy grain and give to, because I don't know. I'm in a military compound. I do not have access to poor people." I said, "Give it to, in your village, give it to your, some poor people, whatever amount I calculated. Buy that and give them." He said he agreed, but he came back. He told me I gave them money. You see, now you cannot fault me because I trusted the person. It's not my fault. So this year, again, another trusted brother. By the way, the first one was a Mujahid also. Second one, another Mujahid. I said, this year I'm going to do it myself, right? So I told him, said, no, don't buy it, because people, they will take the grain and they will sell it. And it will be a loss. They will sell it for loss, then they would prefer money. I said, brother, is that my job to monitor what she or he does? Can I change it? Is that, will I be accountable if he or she sells it? No. I will be accountable for my action. My action is I want to comply with Prophet's Sunnah. There is, subhanallah, unlike our previous brother, he changed his mind. He says, okay. And then next day he told me, we have a very poor cleaning lady and she would love to have this rice. You see how Allah helped? So this is what it is. We stop thinking that this will happen, this will happen. We forget the dalala there. It's not your job. Result is not your job. Result is Allah's job. Another fact, see, I'm giving citation from history. These are facts. These are ayah. This is no. All Nobel laureates in physics got their best idea at the age of 26, before age of 26. If you are taking 50 years to even finish your school, when are you going to act upon your knowledge? It's absurd. Even their data showing it. As for myself, it was exactly this case. That my most important work, by the way, it was in a classroom project. That work produced about 10 publications afterwards. Check that out. This is one of the, probably the oldest journal. 130-year-old journal. I was 26-year-old. It was published when I was 27. The work was found. I mentioned about it before. The idea came to me in a dream. I was stuck with the problem. It's a class project, you remember. It's not a very big deal. But what I found was so revolutionary that it was published in the top journal. Until now, that's the best journal I have ever published in. Same age. Now, down to earth. Example. This is a Nobel laureate from India. From Calcutta, actually. C.V. Raman.
Satyendra Bose.
No. C.V. Raman. Try to read.
Oh, Raman.
You know how much it cost for his equipment? $26. It's not a funded project. It's nothing. And you guys are just waiting for you to get $5 million equipment so you can start the project. That's not history. Even bad guys. He's not a Muslim.
Is there any idea about the time of experiment and research?
He was very young. That's why I'm mentioning. It was before 26. For me, to tell you,
No.
for
him to
him,
conduct
yeah,
the
it was under 26. Another under 26, Satyendra Bose. Again, he was a professor in Dhaka University in Bangladesh. Now it's Bangladesh, it was India at the time. His work was so profound that there are 4 Nobel Prizes on the follow-up. How much money did he spend to get that idea? He was, again, 26. 0. It is a project that he was working as a hobby. So this is history. So don't be intimidated, don't be looking at the administration to give you money so you can start your idea. Idea does not come from Shaitan, it comes from Allah. Literally. Even bad guys get that. Rival Mominun should be 10 times more efficient than Satanic agents. 10 times. If you are not 10 times more productive, question yourself. I talked about my own experience. 800 papers, same time frame. What is the average in US and Canada? About 60 papers in their lifetime. 800 divided by 60 is what? About 12. 12 times.
Sir, a very good point. I want to be shared among the classmates. I personally asked you about this. That
Yeah.
The volume of book you have been doing, the volume of books you have published. So when I consider myself, I don't see any efficiency in my work. And one of the things you suggested to me, guided me, was to pray.
Make dua.
Yeah, make dua.
Yeah.
That was one of the things, so that can bring, that can make us more efficient if it is accepted before Allah. But or there are other things which we can consider.
It starts with that, really.
Uh,
It starts with everything, every cure. My daughter is very sick. How did I start? Did I call up 911 list, rush to hospital? Every other parent would do it, even in this country. I make dua first. Pray 2 rakah and make dua. So severe pain that, of course you know what happened, right?
mm.
Then after dua, I started to do cupping and other things. In 3 hours it was gone, next day it was gone. If I rush to hospital, they will do the scan and they would find all kind of things and they would give medicine. Until now she will be sick. She's with me today. So examples are everywhere. When Shaitan lied to you that it takes time, you should recognize. So who is saying that? What is your evidence, man? See, our evidence is 10 times. Who said that? Prophet Muhammad 10 times. But to say that in this country is evil. Why? British India. Britain from 10,000 miles away occupied India for 200 years. From that far away. They did not have a plane. They did not have bomb. But they occupied 200 years. India was the richest nation. I don't know if you know this history. India was the richest nation during Aurangzeb's times. Richest nation on earth.
I have heard the discussions of Shashi Tharoor and Oxford Union.
Yeah, I've talked about it. So, 200 years they were occupied. How did they live? Poorest country. Poorest country, literally.
Exactly.
Did Indians fight? No. They lived on their own because there was nothing to exploit anymore. So what did they do? They planted their stooges in India, Pakistan, East Pakistan, West Pakistan both. So now we can live. Because the Stooges will take care of them, they will fight and all this, and will just collect the money, which they continue to do. What did Afghanistan do? In 20 years, this is a record, it's a modern time. I'm not even talking about the British in old time. Modern time, Soviet Union, the superpower, two most superpower of last century, defeated in 20 years each. Yes.
Sir, I'm so sorry. What's the main reason that Afghanistan defeated these two superpower countries, but India have defeated in 200 years?
India did not defeat at all. And the only thing I can think of is Iman.
Yeah.
That's it. So, credit goes to Allah.
Trusting the concept of jihad, that it
course.
can work throughout.
When Bin Laden came here, what an absurd idea it was. Do you know? I know personally people who have seen Bin Laden 4 times. First meeting with Mullah Omar was very negative, because Mullah Omar could not trust him, because he has very iffy background. You know that, right? He was in the West, and who knows what it is. So he was despondent. He talked to my guy. He was very despondent. You know what despondent means? He was sad. Then, on his way, CIA supported Stooges of Afghanistan, tried to kill him. Then Mullah Omar realized that he's a real guy. West hates him. Then he called him back. It was a very absurd concept. How can it defeat America? How can it defeat Soviet Union? But they did. Soviet Union was particularly difficult because they're here. They're very close by. They have border. USA had to rely on planes, but these guys had tanks there. But yet they defeated. Allah does not give you victory unless Allah tests you. Unless Allah has trust that you can be the revolutionary. So when we see such victory, we should be very humble. Say, Subhanallah, Allah has picked us. It's a very great responsibility. Because if we do not follow up with intellectual revolution, Allah will pick somebody else. Trust me. Allah doesn't do favoritism. So now go back to we talked about it before, in economics. In economics, completely opposite to what the Western economics tells us, we generate wealth through charity. Charity is looked at as a loss. The word zakah, what does it mean? It's purification. See, if you purify something, value goes up, isn't it? So zakah literally increases your wealth because it becomes purified. And we'll see that concept. And we talked about it, how much to give away. Then, wealth through marriage. I talked to several brothers. Azmal, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Why can't I see you? I'm not going to talk about it. You are still single or married?
Married.
You're married. Alhamdulillah. Any brother who is not married yet, the biggest reason they cannot get married is it's expensive, sir. The doctor is very expensive. What is Islam saying? It increases wealth. Next biggest reason we do not have children, say it costs a lot of money. Islam says no. Children increases your wealth. Exactly opposite to what we have been told. In West, it is taught that you have to be hungry, otherwise your wealth doesn't go up. You have to be hungry. You have to be passionately seeking wealth. You could be a billionaire. You want to be a trillionaire. West said, if you are happy, then you are gone. You will die poor. What does Islam say? Exactly opposite. Wealth is in contentment. A real rich person is content. That's the real wealth. In the West, foundation is to make more money, avoid tax. In Islam, is to have somebody pray for you. You collect hasana until day of judgment. Completely opposite.
Excuse me, Mr. Professor.
Yeah.
So Islamic economics is between socialism, socialist economics.
It's not.
and
It's not at all.
It's independent.
It's itself. It's like gold standard, and we'll come to that. Resource management. What is said in the West? I have posted the book on economics, the second book. You can browse through. It has actually Islamic Caliphate as a standard, gold standard. Resource management. What does the West say? If you are rich, you spend more. What does Islam say? No, it doesn't matter how much, because the resource is not yours. You minimize waste. You minimize deviation from Sharia. That's your job. You optimize. It's called dynamic optimization. Literally, Iqtisad means dynamic optimization. Very tight. So we have references. Waste is built on riba. There is nothing. I told you, if you have zero riba, zero interest, the computer programs blow up. I cannot be zero. We talked about several examples of that. Islam, riba is a major sin. Even adultery is not. Slander is, but riba is major sin. How big? Quran is very clear. Hadith, very harsh. There are 72 doors, 72 layers, and the minimum is to have fornication with your mother. Minimum. That's riba. And that is the basis for Western economy. Completely opposite. So now we go to actual physical standard. What is the economic standard for Islam? It's gold and silver. Prophet made it very clear. For volume, he said we use Medina. For money, we use Makkah. Why? Because Medina did not have any gold coin at that time. As in Medina, Islamic gold coin will come much later. So they were still using Roman. So this is the one, Prophet's time had that standard. The standard that Muslims developed was about 77 years after the Hijrah. That's still the same. Islamic standard does not change. So I'll talk about value addition. So that's the standard. We know that's how we measure wealth. It doesn't matter how much dollar you have, it doesn't matter how much cryptocurrency you have, it amounts to nothing. Your standard is how much gold you have. Afghanistan was the country that used to sell gold to pharaohs some 5,000 years ago. Pharaohs were getting gold from Afghanistan. You lost that technology. So take this example. If it is an iron bar, it costs $5. You can make only $5 out of it. If we turn into a horseshoe, it sells for $12. Horseshoe, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Needles, if you do that, right away you get $3,500. If you turn that into watch spring, you make $300,000. That's called value addition. It's very scientific. If you turn that information, how much money should be information? In that chain, knowledge. We cannot even measure. But those two come intangible. Remember our book, Economics of Intangible. The intangible value is immeasurable. So when you have lithium, this is the Saudi Arabia of lithium. You know that, right? Afghanistan, so much lithium that it's like Saudi oil. It's $5. So what we are doing right now, we are buying battery from China for $300,000. Whereas we're sitting on we have no process of turning our iron bar into watch springs. That process is research. That process, nobody will do it for you. You will be happy. Today I posted something on laser from Turkey. They will be happy to sell you. But it amounts to nothing. Because you can never win the game if you are selling your iron bar and buying your watch spring. It will never add up. So this is the one. You have iron bar, tangible value. It's a real currency. It's a gold wealth. Horseshoe, needles, watch spring, and ultimate is ilm. Where do you come from? Where does it come from? We come from, again, Prophet Hadith. Ilm is the most valuable asset, tangibly. So what does it have? Natural processing. This knowledge, in terms of tangible value, when it is facade and intangible disintegrate, this is the unnatural processing. Your knowledge became disinformation. This is Elon Musk now. Elon turned into Elon Musk, Twitter. And they are collecting the same price, by the way. They are collecting the same. It doesn't matter. Tangible value does not change. You make the watch spring naturally, or sustainably, or unsustainably, you get the same value. It's a very important graph. Chaman, please pay attention to this. Okay?
I'm right.
Oh, thank you. You're quick. By the way, these are all there. But yeah. So what is the catch? You process it halal way or haram way, it doesn't matter. It will sell for the same price. Your information is disinformation or information, you will still get the same price. That's the Twitter is there. That's the CIA right there. They are collecting all the money. But everything changes if you consider the intangible cost. We talked about Iraq war. If you include the Iraq war, intangible, that's infinitely bad. What you get, if it is not processed naturally, iron bar would be negative, consequences, horseshoe would be worse, needles would be worse, watch spring would be worse, disinformation would be worse. And what is that? Facade. Facade doesn't go away. Do you see that? The tangible value does not change. It's the intangible value that becomes a disaster. That's our first book's name, Economics of Intangibles. It shows you that doing things right gives you the same price in dunya, but in akhirah, that's immeasurable, very high. So, what is the benefit of turning unsustainable to sustainable? When it is unsustainable, it's only good for tangible. It makes dunya money in dunya. But you sacrifice your health. Huge intangible cost. In terms of facade, in terms of diseases, in terms of air you breathe, it's a disaster. That's what we call technological disaster. Everybody admits that. That's not sustainable. On the other hand, if you turn into a sustainable, that becomes both tangible benefit and intangible benefit. The only one that will give you both is sustainable technology. It's supported by Quran, and most importantly, when you start anew, if you are the first guy to turn sugar into saccharin, you will bear the cost, the intangible cost for whole humanity, whoever used it, without decreasing their burden. It's in Quran 29:13. It's a very interesting one. Quran doesn't say it, but Prophet complimented that. He gave us hope. Same way, if we start something good, you get the benefit of whole ummah until the day of judgment who benefited from it. You see how it is reversed? Allah is telling you, if you start something bad, you carry the burden. Prophet complimented that for the same verse. On the other hand, if you start something new that nobody had, you get the benefit. That becomes a sadaqatul jariyah, rest of our history. That's the job of a researcher. You're trying to find something that will give you benefit until the day of judgment, and it will benefit people. It has both intangible and tangible. Why should you not worry about tangible benefit? Because it is part of qadr. Your money, the food that you are going to spend, eat, is not going to change. It's the intangible we should focus on. So if our job is anything, we should say, how can I introduce something new that is sustainable? Even if a little thing, even if a grain, because that will benefit me, rest of the lives of whoever is. You get the credit. So this is what I show. This is a tangible value. It turns out, this is the processing, this is the tangible value. Even today, organic food is more expensive. Even today. So if something is processed, it's cheaper. Fresh meat is more expensive than what you buy from Pakistan 1 year ago produced. So you make actually more money with organic today. On top, so in dunya you're making more money. In akhirah you're collecting infinite reward. So it's absolutely not logical to not strive for it. Every sustainable technology you develop, you're going to get more benefit in dunya, even in dunya, and of course in akhirah. Bad guys are getting lower benefit in dunya, plus they are selling their akhirah. That's what Allah calls, do not sell your akhirah thamanan qalila, for a little price. In Islam, this is the value hierarchy. Most valuable is ilm. How do you know? Wealth belongs to who? Allah and His Prophet. In absence of property, who does it belong to? Every wealth.
Yeah, to the waters.
Yes, the Khalifa,
Yeah.
right?
The one.
So that ilm is the top of wealth, tangible even. Median value is natural processing. When you're turning iron bar into quartz spring, you have 300,000 divided by 5 benefit. Ilm's benefit is infinity. We cannot measure. Natural processing, the next. The lowliest is the raw material. The iron bar. You're selling iron bar, you're selling crude oil. That's the lowliest. I call that equivalent to hijama. The person who does the hijama, you know the hadith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prophet said that's the lowliest of income. The lowliest, the mechanism. But the knowledge where to put it is profits. That's the highest benefit. You know that, right? So, ilm is the top, the lowest one is the raw material. What you are doing today in this course, we are doing the ilm of all this. The benefit we're seeking is the top. In research, you do not produce a product. You produce a report, isn't it? What is the report? You found out, you're reporting what new knowledge you developed. Remember the last one? New knowledge in Baqarah 151. New knowledge. That's what you're producing. To complement that, you can say, well, this is our prototype. We use this new knowledge. But taking the knowledge of China and copying from what is China, it's not new knowledge at all. It has no benefit. It goes into the selling them iron bar and buying their watch spring.